Welcome back to the Eunoiacast. We're missing some of our usual hosts today. Scott and Ruby are away from town. They're out doing loads of different things and enjoying themselves.
Well, they're working for the corporation.
Yeah, well, yeah, they've the surf.
Actually, but one of them's working for the
Yeah,
corporation.
well, one of the serfs has fallen in love with their lord, so. But
That's a big fuck up.
we're here today with the guys.
Say hello.
Conor O'Leary and Richie.
Hello.
That's Josh Richie. I can't remember this guy's name. What's he called again?
Brady,
Yeah, I think.
Brady, John.
Yeah. I've had that you don't nick mine.
Big dealer in Sunderland.
Yeah.
Bob Burger, isn't it?
Well, it was formerly Bob Burger.
I don't know why this isn't like a funny joke. Like you can't steal my name, Riley.
Oh yes, I forgot your fucking name. I forgot your name. No, my name is
Right.
Right. So that's it.
And that's it.
The discussion today is about sports, and we're a bit late. We're actually, because this will be uploaded in about a week. No new errands.
Look, it's hard, isn't it?
No, we'll that's the thing, right? We'll record this on fucking Audacity with this fucking shit.
On a stolen table.
We bought 2 of these mics. They're 30 quid each. Well, the tonner mics or some shit.
Yeah.
Right. 30 quid each we bought these, right? And we can't even use the other one.
Yep.
So we don't even know how to use it. So what?
What happened to the other one?
I've got it in my fucking house, and it's just.
We don't know how to get 2 mics to work. So
We don't know how to get both.
So
you need an actual fucking. I don't know.
Yeah,
some
set
shit.
up.
For the listeners, we have one mic that's on top of a stolen makeshift table that I found in the street.
Yeah.
So-
Probably have to invest more in the studio.
That's real
Yeah.
dirtbag left.
Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
the studio is Aaron's fucking room. That you can't open the window in.
Yeah.
Dressing gown
It's
hanging
fucking
from the
boiling.
beams.
It's hardly Joe Rogan, is it? Yes, yeah. Right. But we bought 2 of these mics. We've never used the other one. Bit of a waste. But we're getting a bit off topic. We're talking about sport. And obviously, as I mentioned, we're a bit late to it, but the European Super League, which happened, I think it was April 20th to April 22nd, I think.
About a week ago.
And basically what that entailed for football, it did get cancelled, but we're just going to run through what it was and maybe link some politics
Why it
into it a
made
bit.
us so unhappy.
So basically, the Super League was a proposed reform which would make Champions League and Europa League midweek football obsolete permanently. Where 12 founding clubs signed up for it, 3 from Spain, 3 from Italy and 6 from England. The English teams, Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham, Spurs. I'm just repeating that. Spurs, United, alright, all signed up for it. It was basically making what had already been a thing in football since the Premier League was created in 1992. It was making the elite official in what it was, because obviously in football the elite it always existed for about 31 years in some form because of the Premier League and the TV rights deals they get from that and the revenue they got. It made them already, the top 6 were already an idea. You know what the top 6 is?
Yeah.
In England, it's just the top. The top 6 isn't.
The biggest brands.
Well, yeah, they're not the teams that finish in the top 6 traditionally. Like Arsenal didn't finish there last year. Won't finish there this year. United finished 7th a few seasons back. Things like that. Chelsea's finished 10th before. They're not top 6 in terms of the quality of the football and where they play. They're top 6 in terms of their revenue, the shit they can bring in for the Premier League.
Just how big their brand name is.
Yeah, exactly. So these 12 clubs decide to break away, create their own league that would play with midweek. It wouldn't make. These clubs wouldn't have left the Premier League at any point. They
They would have had their shittiest team.
Yeah.
Their shittiest
What they
roster.
basically would have failed is like reserve players. So you're talking youngsters, you're talking under 18s who they would have failed it because they know the big money. You know, you'll need Harry Kane playing against Real Madrid on Tuesday. You can't have him playing on Saturday; he might get injured. The proposed league reforms to this would be that it would be a 20-team thing. So the 12 founding members were guaranteed. They were guaranteed to permanently stay in it. There's no relegation like in the usual pyramid structure in English football and most of European football. No relegation structure, just they are there forever. They could finish bottom and they will still be there next season because they're bringing the most money. The other 3 teams were supposedly going to be from Portugal and Germany, but due to, and this is to relate to politics, Jeremy Corbyn created the idea for this policy in 2019 election, but nobody cared. It's the 50+1 rule that's used in Germany for most clubs, where 51% of the ownership of that club is publicly owned through membership fees, and the members actually decide basically whatever that club's do. Bayern obviously rejected because the members decided not to join, because obviously why would the fans want them to join such an abhorrent league? Dortmund did.
Does Portugal have the same thing?
No. The thing is, they wanted 3 teams from Germany, but all the German teams rejected. So then they went, shit, right? We need to get it to 20. So we'll ask Porto in Portugal, we'll ask Sporting CP in Portugal, we'll ask all these other clubs, we'll ask some fucking like Chechen clubs.
But not looking at France as well, but they got rejected.
No,
by
the PSG rejected them there. The PSG rejected them because the president of PSG is on the UEFA board, so he's high up in UEFA, so he didn't want to actually risk losing that job. So he decided, there was a lot of moralising in football. It was just fucking found so stupid when people going, "Oh, really good that PSG stuff." PSG, it's owned by, I think it's Qatari Royals, in a horrible country, obviously. Yeah. Or is it UAE? It might be UAE or Qatar. These horrible oil billionaires who, obviously, despite just polluting the planet, they're also obviously committing horrible human rights abuses in the country on the build-up of the World Cup, especially slave labour and etc.
No, well, and people have sort of gotten behind FIFA as an organisation.
Oh yeah,
and it's like, yes, get behind FIFA,
in
like against the is it the ESL?
ESL,
yeah, ESL. But don't start liking FIFA because of this.
No. Don't like FIFA too. No, that's the thing, right? Same with UEFA. People started doing this whole thing, like moral grounds. Like FIFA is so good, look up to them. No, don't look up to them. The people have the luxury of, because it's distracted everybody. People have the luxury of forgetting that FIFA committed some of the worst corruption in football. Actually, some of the worst corruption in sporting history. Probably the worst, with the Qatari World Cup. Sepp Blatter taking backdoor payments from all the members so they can get more votes into getting in Qatar, because they want to just generate profit.
Pretty sure they get football stadiums built with slave labour.
The Qatar World Cup is built with slave labour.
I think thousands have died.
3,000 people by the end of them building it and the World Cup starting in December 2022. 3,000 people are going to dead.
At least
for
it was,
football
at least it was for the greater football.
Oh yeah. No, but that's the way some idiotic, like moronic, brain dead fans look at it. They look at it in the, when they were like cheering, because obviously the top 6 in England joined it, and the first one to leave was Chelsea, because of the backlash. And then people were like, "Oh, so good on Chelsea, so good."
They joined it.
They joined it to begin with. They only left because they were scared. They only left because of the fear that they would fucking, potentially lose their fan base in that country and lose any legitimacy.
There was actually one pretty legitimate, fair play moment where I think it was all the Liverpool players, I think on their Twitter, stood up to it personally.
They did.
After Liverpool joined, which is pretty
cool. No.
They all said, "We don't agree with this. We know you fans don't want it," and they were all saying that on their Twitters.
That's
that's fair enough.
No. That's the thing. I'm not, by saying these clubs are horrible, and I support one of these clubs. All right. By saying these clubs are horrible, I'm not saying the players are. The players aren't. The players aren't, and the managers aren't.
I think some of the players,
maybe not even the managers either.
The managers aren't. The managers have no say.
No connection.
Managers have
he was
no
sacked
say
because
whatsoever.
of his stance against the.
No, that wasn't why he was sacked.
Oh.
He was sacked because he's a shit manager. But he was he was sacked because he hadn't won in about 12 years. But no, he wasn't. That was just a rumour that people spread around. Wasn't true. He was just sacked, but he might have been linked somewhat. Daniel Levy, who owns Tottenham, was going to sack him anyways. And he just thought, right, this European Super League thing's going on, I know how to distract. I'll sack Mourinho. And that might overtake the news. So then people will maybe go oh shit, Mourinho's been sacked, he's a big name in football, so they'd focus on that instead of me joining the Super League. Yeah. Now, the thing is, I don't blame the players. For example, one Liverpool player, John Henderson, who's from, where's he from?
Sunderland.
He's from Sunderland. He's from our local area.
Jamie Henderson.
No, where in Sunderland?
It's
close to you.
It's close to me. Springwell?
No, man.
Grindon?
Where do you live?
Thorny Close.
Yeah?
He's from Thorny Close?
No. He's from fucking Farah.
Ah, right.
He's
yeah.
from Farringdon, yeah, right. And he started a WhatsApp group where he was going to collect all the 20 captains from the Premier League to unionise against it. Actually, well, no, he was going to make a protest. And obviously, fan protests have occurred afterwards. You might not know, outside Chelsea, outside Liverpool, outside United, towards the owners. Because what I was worried about when the Super League thing died down, they all left. It was falling apart. I was worried that fans would go, well, job done, we're done, easy finish, and then it's like, no, but really, the root problem of this is the owners.
Yeah.
Like, the Premier League, this is another thing, people loving the Premier League's reaction to it, which is its own institution, like saying, oh, we'll kick them out of the Football League and everything like that. It's like, alright, maybe...
Self-preservation, not the fans were a second.
No,
Not even a thought.
With the Premier League, they've always been an afterthought. With its creation in 1992, they didn't have the fans' interest in heart. They started charging out of the fucking ridiculous money from Sky and all that. I mean, it costs... I'm lucky, right? So how much do you think it costs a month to watch football games? Like, I assume you don't have subscriptions.
What,
unless you get a
like
league.
on telly?
Yeah, not including
30
getting a
quid,
league.
40 quid a month?
Well,
Well,
it cost
you
me
subscribe to
£6.
several different.
Well, no, you
services.
do. It cost me £6 to watch about 3 every weekend, max. Not always my team playing as well. And £6 a month, and I can only watch it on my phone. I can only watch it on my phone. If I wanted to get the proper one and watch it on telly, and watch Sky Sports main event, Sky Sports News, Sky Sports Premier League, it would cost £40 a month. On top of that, you need to get the Amazon Prime one, because football matches are now shown on that quite regularly during the winter months. They show them on there. That's another £8. And then obviously you need to get BT Sport if you want to watch the Champions League, Europa League, and some 12:30 kickoffs, which is another £40 or £30. So you're the average fan, and you're having to shell out £100 potentially to watch all your games.
Yeah.
Like to watch your team play all their possible games.
Mhm.
Because obviously I can't have the Sky Sports Premier League pass and watch Man United play in the Champions
No,
League.
and that's
I
just to
can't, I have
watch
to get
them
BT Sport.
on telly, like not in a fucking stadium.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, to go into stadium prices, they're already ridiculous anyways. But then, maybe you're not able to make the stadium one day, and you hit with a £40 bill because you have to pay to watch your team play a couple. Oh shit! Not the mic. Sorry, guys. To play a couple times a month.
Yeah.
So this is the real thing that would have made them elite, though, and this is where the capitalist problem of it comes in. So they got assured packages from JP Morgan of $5 billion. This would be split between them. No, it was $10 billion actually. No, this wasn't JP Morgan. They were going to get $10 billion for joining it anyways, right? This would be split between them, all 20 clubs, and equally split.
So like 800, 900 million each.
Yeah, pretty much. They're in about, right? No, probably about 500 million each because it'd be 20 teams.
Ah,
It's
right.
for the 20 teams
that
would all get it, right? So absurd amount of money split between them. Then we're going to get the $5 billion from JP Morgan. And the reason they were going to get the $5 billion from JP Morgan, right? And this is the rich thing. So these clubs are mega rich. They didn't really struggle through the pandemic. I mean, you might have remembered a story in 2020 when Arsenal, who's owned by a multi-billionaire, who is the husband of the woman whose father owns Walmart. Owns the Walmart.
No,
company.
that's a weird thing that you start to notice is that when you look into like really rich people, you notice that they just all know each other.
Yeah.
Like you
they're
look
all
like
pally-
fucking
yeah.
the Tories. They're just friends with people like who own big businesses from school.
Yes,
so
they all know each other.
Yeah.
So if you remember from 2020, do you know the Gunnosaurus, the mascot? He got sacked,
Oh, yeah.
and he cost 25 grand a year to employ. He got sacked.
And they furlough some of their players.
Yeah, no, they furloughed some of their players, but of course they were able to spend 100 million in the next transfer window, and obviously take dividends out of the club and everything like that. But the reason they were going to be guaranteed this $5 billion between them was to offset the struggles faced by these clubs by the pandemic. Right? Now let's think about it. Man United, who I support, hasn't been struggling during the pandemic. I mean, fans, idiotic fans that I bring up like, we're not going to be able to buy X player now for 100 million. It's like, right. But what about League 2 clubs who not exist anymore?
Yeah.
What about Bury? This was before the pandemic, to be fair, but what about Bury, who doesn't exist?
Mm-hmm.
They aren't a football club anymore. They fell out of existence, and they were around for over 100 years. What about Macclesfield? That's another one. Might not have heard them. They've completely stopped existing. Notts County, you found the bother. You might remember when you were younger, when you used to watch Premier. Do you remember Bolton?
I
Yeah,
know
I think
Wanderers.
we're involved.
Yeah.
They're fucked. They're in League Two. They're in League Two.
Yeah.
Yeah, they used to be a Premier League team.
I couldn't imagine like
regularly.
a team you've grown up supporting all your life, like literally ceases to exist.
Mhm.
And then you see shit like this in the news, like JP Morgan, like, oh, we're helping Liverpool cope with
Yeah,
the pandemic
uh-huh,
losses.
Yeah, that's
Livid.
it would make you fucking fuming because it's like, right, a lot of the people who are in and around Bury, for example, or Macclesfield, have spent their whole lives there, going every weekend to watch, let's be honest, a shit team play. Like, Bury and Macclesfield aren't the fucking height of football, or quality or anything like that. It's your dedication to the club, working around it, maybe putting money into it yourself.
Yeah.
Some clubs accept donations to keep going because they aren't just profit, especially in the lower leagues, they aren't just profit-making mechanisms. They're actually culturally important to that local area.
Yeah, well, no, I
especially
think
Bury.
it's easy for especially like educated leftists to just sort of dismiss this as maybe even like false consciousness, as seeing football as kind of like bread and services that distracts people from their exploitation of it.
Yeah.
But like football is important to the actual conditions of the working class especially in the UK.
Of course,
Because like entire communities are built around the football club. When Sunderland lost coal mining, all we had left was our football club.
Yeah, the football club was the only attraction.
Yeah, it was the only thing of it was the only aspect of an actual community that we had left.
Yeah.
Aside from that, like what do we have? We have call centres.
Well, and then that's another problem. It's less leftist with this, but sort of liberal Labour types who have still got this perception of football fans is like the 80s perception of them. Hooligans who don't give a fuck, they want to basically cause as much bother as possible. They're just drunkards, right? And yeah, I mean, I've been in and around that. I know there's some that are. I'm not going to deny. I'm not naive. I'm not going to bullshit you. But that perception still persists with sort of left Labour types and obviously with the Tories.
Even though it's like the vast minority of
It's
football fans are like,
it's complete
it's
minority.
ridiculous.
Yeah, most football matches rarely have a fight afterwards.
Yeah.
Or might have a little scrap, might have a little shouting at each other. That's just
Unless they're mad
part of
because
the
they're
frizz.
horrible.
Oh well,
They're punch horses.
no. When they ride, it's because the last. That's probably one of the last like significant ones I can properly remember. Or the one in. Did you know about the one in Rome? Rome, Italy played. Liverpool played Rome in the Champions League 2018-19, I think it was. They go over, and one of the Liverpool and Roma fans get in a scrap afterwards, and one Liverpool fan got killed, stabbed to death. There's obviously reasons from the 80s, Hillsborough, which wasn't football hooligans, I'm not saying that. There was one instance, the Juventus Liverpool game, there was a big clash between them. Lots of Juventus fans crushed.
There was a big thing with
there was a big thing
skinheads in the 80s as
there
well.
was a problem with football in the 80s. Like it was too violent. It was mega violent. And but that perception is stuck. And you know what? Some left-wing people that call themselves socialist or fucking aware of the working class, a lot of them assume football fans are just dirty. That is a fact. They assume, they're just. Well, then they're just idiots.
No, they're just violent drunkards. But it's like
you're an idiot for liking
stupid
sport.
to like football.
Yeah, they're like, oh, good.
No, it
lads.
is. It's a proletarian thing. I like, it's
Yes,
a little.
yeah.
It's an
Yeah,
educated
and no doubt leftists keep this in their mind. Like no doubt they think it.
Yeah. No, and the thing is, it's like, I mean, like, I'm not going to pretend to care about, like, I don't care about football, I don't watch it, but, like, I'm not dismissive of it. I understand that, football just is important to working class, but it is something that gives you a bit of relief, Yeah. It's like, I mean, I watch MMA and boxing a lot, right? And it's like, it's the same for me. It's like, that's something I just watch, and it's nice to watch, and it gives you a bit of relief, And
you can obviously get into the discussions about it and everything like that, and it's just entertainment, a stream of football's just a constant stream of entertainment, and that's what it should be. It should be culturally important and just constant entertainment for you to sort of put your mind at ease. On Saturdays when you're off work, you go to the 3 o'clock kick-off. Obviously, you haven't been able to because of the pandemic, but when it's back, when you're allowed to get back in season, like June 21st, you want to be able to go to that. I mean, I don't go to many matches, mainly because I support a club that charges about 400 quid to go to one game, and I just can't afford that. But and I'm not from there, so I'm a fake fan. Plastic,
yeah.
No, but the perception of these fans is just, and another thing people are dismissive of, that football's even important. It's football isn't that important really though. Does it really matter? So of course it does. Yeah. Of course it matters.
Matters to a lot of
people. It matters just because it matters to them.
Yeah. No, it's people who claim to represent the working class, which is the sort of educated, sort of pseudo leftists. Will just not, they're not just not knowing about football, thinking it's just like this sort of thing for uneducated people. It's like, well, no, it is like, it's not just like a dumb sport that you watch. It's a way that people actually bond with each other. It's a way people actually, fundamentally their constituency or the constituency that they claim, which is the working class. That's an integral part of their lives.
Yeah.
It's
It's a constant part of their lives, not just on weekends. I say the weekends at 3 o'clock or the Tuesdays at 7:45 for lower league teams. No, it's constant. You might go in there every day. You might just be in and around the ground.
You talk about it every day.
Yeah, you take your kids there. It's a bonding experience for families, for everything. It's so ingrained in our culture in Britain. And to be honest, in a lot of other countries as well.
Especially
France, Italy,
South America.
Brazil, Argentina.
I mean, the way football is set up in this country, it's all about community. I mean, for instance,
well, especially lower league football. I wouldn't say... I'm not claiming up on Premier League football.
So the timing for the matches, it works around the working class man. You know, well, in the sense that most games are played on the Saturday.
Well,
at 3 o'clock, as well as on like during the week, like what was it, 7?
It's 7:45 usually, or 7 o'clock kickoffs.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no. There's different reasons for why they played at 3 o'clock. It's that was a law forced by the FA, who wanted to make sure match attendance could stay higher. It wasn't for, sort of the working man. It was mainly because, well, in a way you can't link to it, but they just wanted match attendance to stay high, because the match attendance was dropping as TV rights became a thing. So they split away. They got all this money handed to them for nothing, for just joining, for just being. They're getting money for being rich, right? and if you want to know something that they're getting money for being rich. They're getting money.
That's the best way to get money.
Yeah, the best. Rich. But it's obviously a bit of a cliche, I suppose. But money just gives money. Money begets money.
If you want to be rich, then be rich.
Yeah. If you want to keep being rich, just keep being rich.
Yeah.
Well, that's all it is.
No,
but it's right though. It's right. If you will just get more money handed to you. And the lower league teams in 2020 during the first lockdown got given 20 million between 24 of them. No, it was 25 million between 24 of them. So just over $1 million each. That's not going to keep them afloat any longer than a year. That's atrocious. And obviously at the same time during this, you're seeing Man City or Chelsea or Man United linked to X player for 100 million. You're just thinking, really? You couldn't have spared some more cash? Yeah. You've got these ridiculous billionaire owners who could just give this away almost to keep the football league alive. It's dying, and this isn't just some alarmist bullshit. It has been happening for years, but now it actually is coming to a head. You've seen Macclesfield just die. You've seen, smaller teams who are non-professional, like Dover Athletic.
It's like the footy apocalypse, in a way.
Well, yeah, no. Like if we keep on going this way and we don't kick these billionaires, these elite fucking idiots, American cunts out of football, then they're just gonna keep on doing it, and eventually by 2030, you're gonna see teams like Sunderland dead. Teams like Sunderland aren't gonna be around.
I'm
if they're in League One.
Article here. Liverpool agreed to open discussions with club supporters following European Super League backlash.
And the thing is, though, has anyone saw their apologies?
No.
Oh, their apologies.
We're sorry you feel this way.
No. It was like
we're sorry you caught us.
We really didn't. Well, he's an American who owns that. He's called John Henry. He's like, we really didn't understand the love you have for football in this country. We just thought, maybe it would be more beneficial to your club if we done it. It's like, fuck you fucking cunt. And the Glazer family who own Man United came out and started saying this is beneficial for all levels of football. Obviously, the idea, they wrap it in this thing where they say, the ECL, the ESL, basically this is going to benefit the whole of the football pyramid. It's not just going to benefit the big clubs, we're going to fund all these other clubs because we'll have the excess money to do. Now, that was actually their argument, because they're getting 10 billion and 5 billion from these big banking companies in America. They're now going to be able to afford, which they couldn't obviously before, to now fund and better League 2, League 1 Championship teams who are struggling. You could have done that beforehand. You don't deny you could have done that beforehand. But the only person who I have some, when we're talking about political figures, and like how we have like a fleeting respect for Thatcher, right? There's only one fucking of these from the teams that I have a respect for. Alright, and it's going to sound funny the way I describe him. He is football's Trump. Right? The Real Madrid president, Florentino Perez, right? he's fucking he. Barcelona and Real Madrid are still in it. They haven't left. They haven't
the
left.
Italian clubs?
Yeah. No, they've all left.
Oh,
Everybody's left except from Barcelona and Real Madrid. Perez is sticking by it. He said by 2025 this will be a thing, and guaranteed. He's not bothered.
Yeah.
And you know what he said? This is such a fucking bullshit thing. It's so funny. He said he actually mourned in an interview that now because we've left the Super League and it won't happen, Real Madrid won't be able to sign Mbappe. He said that, and Mbappe would cost about 250 million. So he's actually saying, well, because we can't ruin football now.
We can't sign an individual player.
No, we can't sign this ridiculously expensive player.
Yeah.
And he also made the claim that he's really abrasive. He's made the claim that 16 to 24-year-olds are just sick of football and they don't care about it anymore, and this would actually gain their interest back because he was like saying, "Who wants to see a small team play a big team, really?" And that's what I love football for. I love seeing fucking Burnley play Chelsea. It's just an interesting spectacle to see the underdog wins.
Yeah, plus it gives you the like with the ESL, you would have basically no chance of like proper upsets where some like no-name dipshit team actually gets one over.
Well, yeah,
every
no,
Not
team,
even
yeah.
any stakes. It's just the same thing.
Yeah.
Everybody,
Well,
what's the point?
No, because
American sport is shit for that reason.
Well, no,
which
that's
brings
the
us on to it.
no. American sports, they're franchising it. Like
Exactly.
the American sports are so the MLS in America. I mean, they have the thing where you think in America they have different football leagues. So they have the NASL, North American Super League. They have the MLS, Major League Soccer. The MLS is the main one, but you can't get relegated from it. You can buy your way into it. So I think Inter Miami, which is owned by David Beckham, they're going to buy their way into it.
Yeah.
New York City Football Club, which is owned by the Man City owners, they have bought their way into that league. You can buy you into that league, but you can't earn your way into that league.
Yeah.
For
No,
just playing well.
yeah, because I mean, football like at the high levels.
It's franchising of football.
Yeah, no, but yeah, football at the high levels is already like largely about how much money a club has. Like, because you know they buy the best.
Oh
players.
no, like we're complaining about the Super League, but this always.
Yeah,
This
that's always been the case, but this is like this was an attempt to just fucking
This was
supercharge that. You know?
making it official.
Yeah, this was just going to fish like, okay, nothing matters but money now, because now it's just the richest
Yeah.
teams play off against the richest teams, and
Yeah,
that's the only league that matters.
And that brings us on actually. So you know, fuck the European Super League. You know, I brought UEFA up earlier, and how people are like saying, "Oh, great job." They're threatening to kick these teams at the Champions League. UEFA by 2024 are going to release reform the Champions League. You know, the Champions League, you finish in the top 4 in England, and I think it's the top 3 in France, etc. Top 4 in Italy. If you finish in that, you get put into the crowning competition of like European sport, and it is basically midweek games, group stages with 4 teams. You get through if you finish in the top 2. Then it's knockouts from last 16 to the final, played in a neutral venue. So they want to reform it. They want to add 4 more teams to that, which, to be honest, is stupid because who wants to see Albanian teams play? Like, no, genuinely. Albanian teams should not be playing in the Champions League. It's the best league. It's the best.
I'd want to see that.
No, but it's the best competition in the world. So why should we? Why should we make an extra place for like Kilmarnock in Scotland?
Yeah.
But they don't just want to do that. They're doing the Super League. So if you obviously because you have to finish the top 4 to get in the Champions League, or 5th or 6th to get into the Europa League, they're going to make it so if Man United has a particularly bad season, finish 14th, they still get in.
Yeah.
Because they got the money. Yeah, they're going to make it, they're going to reform it. I forgot exactly how, but they're going to reform it so even if they do terrible one season, they're still in it, regardless, because you need them in it, because the revenues are insane.
Oh, so they don't deserve to be there, but they can afford to be there, so it's fine.
Yeah, no. UEFA are already doing this, so people are panicking about the European Super League. UEFA released this a day after the European Super... No, the same day the European Super League was announced. The European Super League creators knew they were going to release that. It was a big power play by them. They released it just a couple hours before to like sort of fuck them over. But the thing is, I don't get why the club's done that, considering they could have just went with the Champions League reforms and still been allowed to be in the competition, even all the shit. So the extension of 36 will mean the 4 teams, say Juventus from Italy, Real Madrid from Spain, PSG from France, and Man United from England, all do shit one season, finish outside the qualification places. They'll still get in because of the wealth. That's what them 4 extra places are for. Yeah. Not for well, I said like at the start, they're for Albanian teams. They're not. They're for them. They're reserved for them. So they'll get in regardless. They're making it a franchise thing anyways. They're making it MLS style because it's going to be a league, like an actual like league format where you play 10 games. Not to mention, these games and the amount they're going to play is going to kill players off. Like they can't. you know, a lot of people say footballers have an easy job. It's like they do in a sense for what they get paid, but you try and play 80 games of football a year, 90 minutes, full intensity every week.
It's impossible.
You know, not
will
even getting a couple of days break.
Schedule as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
but they only have like 2 days break sometimes.
We've played like footy matches casually together.
Oh,
and,
fucking
like,
hell.
if we do it for like
dead.
an hour and a half, like we literally, it's hard to walk for a week after.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Yeah, no, not even. I couldn't walk for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like I played 90 minutes, I think, and
I'm out of breath in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So I know they're athletes and they're designed for this, but they're not designed to play 80 games of football a year. That's thousands and thousands of minutes. They can't do that, and it's also at the highest level, so it's more intense.
Yeah.
You know, we're just doing a fucking kickabout in a tiny field. They're playing on a massive football pitch in front of loads of fans against, you know, professionals. You'd be fucked.
Yeah.
Your legs would just go. Plus, injuries are becoming more frequent in football now as the schedules get more compact and tighter. So
now an
it's all
injuries
creating
can like
dire problem.
just fucking ruin people's careers a lot of them. Start the.
All right.
Oh, what?
Alright.
I am in a minute. Gonna start getting ready for work.
All right, wait. So that's the European Super League, and it's a disgrace, and it makes me very sad.
Yeah, no, it's
It
fucking
makes
good.
Connor sad. It makes Richie sad. It makes
Makes
Aaron
sad.
upset.
I'm
really.
bald, my eyes out.
Yeah,
So-
but we're gonna have a quick caveat.
You've
I've
got
got no football left.
No, we're gonna have a quick change
Switch your room.
to something else, and it's we're all gonna name
We're playing a game.
some of our we're gonna play a
Favorite
football
and
game.
least favorite sports personality.
Yes.
Least
Right.
favourite.
Well, least and favourite. Well, you just do your favourite if you want, but least favourite and favourite sports personalities. Aaron,
Alright.
you go as your idea.
My
maybe
favourite,
not on the mind.
it's basic bitch choice. I'm not gonna lie, but it's probably Tyson Fury. I fucking, you know,
I don't blame you for that.
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
blame you.
I'm a very casual follower of boxing and MMA. I like to watch it. I usually just watch clips of it. I sometimes watch full fights, and I just love the way Tyson Fury boxes. I like his attitude. He's a bit of a joker. He likes to foot about in the ring, but he has a big personality, and he actually he's much more interesting than someone like Floyd Mayweather. Like Floyd Mayweather's
bland.
yeah, like he's a good boxer. He's a great boxer. Even he has good technique. Like his fucking his head movements are all.
Well,
all
that's the thing.
good, but-
People will say Floyd Mayweather is just a shit boxer.
Yeah,
Just he dodges him, he ties him up. But that's a tactic in itself.
Yeah, well, and something especially in MMA and boxing is that you can be you can be a much more interesting person to watch, even if you're like a shit player, a shit fighter compared to someone else. Like Joe Alain Ngalani is.
No.
He's a Cameroonian MMA fighter, right? And if you watch it, his win-loss ratio is actually negative. He's lost more games, more matches than he's won. But he's great to watch because when he does win, he has brilliant highlights. He does like flying fucking knees.
Oh,
and
right,
ridiculous.
yeah.
You know, he does a great job.
He's got a complete personality in his tactics.
So, but with Tyson Fury, he's a brilliant boxer. He hasn't lost once out of like 37 fights, I think.
Yeah, this is the thing with Tyson Fury. I remember when I was like 16 or 15, I remember seeing a clip of him in the... it was in the build-up to some fight, I forgot who it was with, it might have been Klitschko or something. And he comes in the Batman suit, right?
Yeah.
And you don't remember that one? He starts messing about in the Batman suit, and I thought, oh, he's a to get him.
Yeah.
But then, as I grew up, I thought, like, nah, he's great, because that's what boxing's all about, really.
Yeah.
The bravado, the arrogance, just, you know, this weight he carries that I am the fucking best, I can take the piss.
Yeah, no, and he
You
can
know,
do
I
it
love
because
that.
he hasn't lost a fight. He's had one draw, and he's won every other fight. And
Oh, no, like, I don't blame you for choosing Tyson Fury. His personality, just everything, he's just such an attractive prospect.
just the way he fights, the way he just fucking moves like a lunatic.
Yeah.
I mean, you've probably seen the clip of him where he does just fucking enter the Matrix. He's back up against the rope, and he's just fucking, it's fucking mad.
Yeah, he's
And
fucking
what-
brilliant.
what-
Especially for such a huge guy as
Plus,
Yeah,
well.
for a
plus
fat
he's
lad.
always, the thing that I like about him is he's always shown. Like, you know, when he was going to fight Deontay Wilder, and everyone's like, oh, well, Deontay Wilder's like the proper boxer.
Yeah.
Tyson Fury's like sort of the joke one. You know, he hasn't really got a. He's just a fat idiot.
Yeah.
You know, it's same with Ruiz when he played when
he played
they fought
Joshua.
Joshua.
Yeah.
You know, Ruiz is fat. He's going to be, you know, he's going to be slobbering about. He's not going to be. It's like, and then they just prove them wrong. And Deontay Wilder gets fucking mauled.
Yeah.
Love to see that because he's a cunt. He's a cunt.
He's an
Deontay
arsehole.
Wilder. He's an arsehole.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just love to see because he was taking the piss out of Tyson Fury because Tyson Fury's had the depression. He's been
Yeah,
over
he got
that.
loads of weight about.
Yeah,
I was going to bring that
I'm
up.
pretty sure he's talked about suicide, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, that's, for the similar reasons, I'd probably give him my favourite choice as well, because it's like, he's talked about things that a lot of A lot
boxers
of,
would shy away from.
anyway, especially fighters where you've got to pay a
Well,
tough.
it's got to be.
The fact he just doesn't give a fuck and he's doing that because he knows it'll help some people. That's pretty commendable, to be fair.
Yeah.
And you've got to give it to him. He's like literally, like at least on the social ladder, he's worked his way up. Like gypsies aren't really.
Yeah, no.
Esteemed members.
He
of
still
the
gets
community.
discriminated against as
Yeah,
a
he's a
gypsy.
gypsy.
Yeah,
He still proves
and
everyone
you know
wrong.
what? I'd love it. I love that he calls himself the Gypsy King. Thing is,
He
right?
embodies it.
Arrogance, especially when you've earned it, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, it's fucking great.
Because he's fucking great. You know, that's
Can
why I
be
love Kanye
justified.
in music. I
Yeah.
love him because his arrogance is brilliant.
And
It's
what-
amazing.
as well with this is more something that you only really get with sports people. I think when it happens in music, it's just kind of sad. But in sports, where you have a great personality, a great character who's brilliant at the sport, but their fall can be really great to watch as well. Because if you look at someone like he was nicknamed Prince Ahmed or Prince Ahmed. He was a boxer. He was I think he was a bantamweight. He was a brilliant boxer. He had these really spectacular fucking entrances. He was just, he would knock people out. Just, it was like, that was what he did. He would just knock someone out every fucking fight, basically. He was brilliant. And then he had his last fight, and he got completely fucking mauled. He did his amazing entrance. He was taking the piss. He was letting the guy hit him at points, and then he got fucking sparked out.
Yeah.
And that was a great fall. I don't think he actually did another fight after that. And that was great watch as well.
No,
Yeah.
like in music, I get what you mean. It's sad when they fall. We're talking about like fading away from the mainstream. In sport, it can be so much more of a spectacle.
Yeah.
It's more of a spectacle. It's more of a spectacle.
Like, if someone does come along and fucking beat the shit out of Tyson Fury, I think it'd be a great match to watch.
Yes, it would be. Yeah. Although I like him, although if I'm watching, I'm rooting for him. I don't know. I root for him or Joshua. That's the thing. Actually, that's a good.
I think I like him a bit more than Joshua.
Why? Why is that?
Just because he's like, just his personality in general, just the things
Yeah,
he's
no,
actually
he-
accomplished.
No, Joshua
He
is
does
like
carry a bigger personality.
Joshua.
Not only that, his recovery from when he was at the point where he was actually just morbidly obese, and he's got himself
That is
in like
unbelievable.
heavyweight champion state. Like that's unheard of.
Like,
It's
I mean,
unbelievable.
But the thing is, though, you can argue the same for Joshua, but not the weight thing. The fact he was in prison, he was
Was he?
complete. Yeah, he got put in. Was it for knife crime?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Doesn't he still
Right.
live with his mum?
Yeah. He's a humble guy.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. We've got British boxers now, just great. There's a lot of British sports personalities in the last year, 2 years or so that have just come out. And you
Propping
should
up
love
that
them.
just great.
Yeah, it's looking up for that sort of bringing back that thing where you've actually got decent personalities. You remember like Ricky Hatton?
No.
David Hay.
No.
Do you remember? David Hay was a boxer, English boxer. My dad went to Germany. I went as well
To fight
To
David
what?
Hay.
no, to watch him fight, and he got fucking mauled basically.
Yeah.
He got mugged off. He lost from points though, and afterwards he came out. You got to know this fucking excuse. He came out and said I had a broken toe. Yeah, he came out and started. I had a broken toe. That's why I fought.
The
him."
costume was too heavy.
Little toe, which won't massively affect him.
Do
I
go.
have to go.
Oh, goodbye, Connor. He cannot name his
Say
personality.
goodbye,
He's
everyone.
gay anyways as well.
Wait, name it quickly.
I don't really have a sport personally, but
I'm just feeling
He
like
doesn't
Manny
really like
Pacquiao.
sports.
Try Manny Pacquiao.
I don't.
Why do you like him?
Do you know who he is now?
Right.
He's a senator in the Philippines. Yes, he is. Genuinely. Manny Pacquiao is a senator in the Philippines.
And that's why he's my favourite.
Yeah.
Fucking flying me with a tattoo. No, it's fucking. That's fucking weird. That.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
My God.
Yeah, I feel I do like Tyson Fury a lot, but Joshua's story is really uplifting.
No, I
Tell
mean,
you-
Anthony Josh was like a nicer person.
Yeah.
His politics. Right. Does he have politics? Does he have politics?
Does he have politics?
I'm
He's
like,
quite
like
actually
something.
spoken about Black Lives Matter.
He spoke about Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
I mean,
However, this might be controversial. I'd like to talk about
Oh.
my least favourite. Now, I don't look up all the news stories on him, but every now and then he seems to crop up, and like a lot of the things he does just pisses off. Like Conor McGregor.
Alright.
Now, he's loved for his
I
arrogance.
hate
No,
Craig,
but
he's just a
it
cunt.
gets to the point where you're just an arsehole. Like
No,
first
he's
start,
boring.
Khabib, like he was actually just racist to him.
Mm.
And
No,
he got
no,
away
he
with it
was.
'cause
Yeah,
his
no,
personality. Taking the piss
Oh.
out of it. No, he's taking the piss out of his religion.
No, the thing is,
no,
like,
no,
he got away
he's
with
just
it.
a
Like
cunt.
Not only
Khabib
that-
is like a real piece of shit, but that was a great fight to watch.
Yeah.
Like Khabib's an arsehole, but it's just seeing him beat the fucking shit out of Conor McGregor.
No,
'cause
but
I
in
don't
that
know-
context,
I don't
Yeah,
even know if
he was
Khabib's
absolutely
the
right,
I don't
yeah,
even know if
yeah.
Khabib's that much. of an
Nah,
arsehole.
he's like really conservative.
Oh, actually, I can
right,
imagine.
right, yeah.
Like
So
kills
politics is
kids and
thingy, but in that circumstance
No,
between them two.
Not only that, fucking chucking the trolley at the bus, injured
Oh,
him and
yeah.
his team.
Mhm.
No, not injured, but like potentially,
Mhm.
someone could have got pretty fucking hurt there. That's just reckless and like first, like, that's just a scumbag doing that.
Yeah.
No, plus
And on top of that, did anyone see the video of him?
no, I wasn't
anyone
done
to
yet.
me
I wasn't done yet.
Anyone see the video of him, like, this old guy, this actual old man in a bar criticises him, and he fucking punches him?
What?
Yeah, yeah. No,
How
I've
old?
heard
Knocks
of
out
that.
an old
It
guy?
is.
I've heard of that.
How old's he? Oh,
He-
yeah.
he got back up, to be fair to him, but like, for a start, you're a really top tier fighter. Your fists
I
are
know,
literal
it's-
fucking
no,
weapons.
it's like-
And you're hitting an old man because your ego can't take the hits.
No, I feel like
Fucking arsehole.
I feel like with Joshua and Tyson Fury, my sister's met him v Joshua.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. Which one?
It done?
Fucking hell.
Yeah, she met him v
So you
Joshua.
meant which
I mean the real one. The white one. No, he fucking...
His sister
Man.
met Black Connor.
Shut the fuck up. No, I met him. She was great.
Mm.
Great guy. And I feel with Tyson Fury, you know, you can obviously do this thing some people do with political figures, who could just like sit down with a pint.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't drink pints, but...
Who do you do a lot of coke with? Reagan. He does. He definitely could.
Yeah. No. Who would you do that with? It's like, well, I'd rather do it with Tyson Fury or Joshua than I ever would Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Because I feel like with him, you could say one wrong thing, he'd just be a cunt.
Mm. No, but
Oh,
even
yeah.
with
Yeah,
like
no, that's what we do. He'd just hit you if you
I've-
said like one thing. You'd just be like, oh, that's
obviously Conor
seems
McGregor's
narcissistic.
fucking boxing debut was an absolute disaster and he got fucking knocked out.
Yeah.
But his MMA, like he had a really good debut with MMA. I mean he has a fair few wins under his belt. But if you look at his style early on, he had this very like very fast, very explosive style where as soon as the match starts, he'd come in with a fucking flying knee or whatever. But then now, if you look at some of his recent fights, there's one fight, it's great, you should watch it on YouTube. It's just a combination of him running away. Because he got in a fight where, and this happens quite a bit in MMA, where people get too scared to fight. They'll get like the shit kicked out of them for like, you know, a few seconds, then they'll suddenly back off and they'll just start basically running away, and as soon as the other person swings, they just sidestep across the octagon. And then Conor McGregor did that really bad. So that was fucking pathetic. Especially for a guy so arrogant.
No, he had a fall that was the equivalent to how Paul McCartney fell away from Mike Starden.
Yeah. He was really good.
I mean, mate, he ended up in Infinity War.
Mhm.
He ended up in a COD game. He's
Wait.
in a COD game.
Who?
Conor
Conor
McGregor?
McGregor? Oh, yeah.
He's Jon Snow.
Yeah.
Or Kit
Wait,
Harington.
Conor
Yeah.
McGregor was in Infinity War.
Yeah.
Fucking
He is.
Punches in the face,
Punches
isn't
in
it?
Yeah.
And, yeah.
That's the thing as well, relating to football, Conor McGregor says he supports every team. He's fucking enormous as well.
What, is that what he says?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but no, he
What
says
is it?
he supports Liverpool. Now he's claiming he wants to buy Man United because he's been in sports since he was a kid.
Yeah.
It's like, just shut up, man.
Yeah.
It's like Snoop Dogg. You know Snoop Dogg
Yeah.
goes, when he does UK tours, he wears a football shirt from that city every time. It's just
Yeah.
like,
Go on.
you American cunt.
Yeah.
You fuck off, you American arsehole.
Mm.
It's pro-American,
Like
but
over
the
there.
thing is, he's not... Fuck, Conor McGregor's not even American.
Yeah.
He is Irish,
Fuck
on the
Snoop Dogg,
Irish.
he's not even
The
American.
Irish are like Americans
No.
but English.
No, no.
That's
the,
true.
No. I mean, the Irish like care about football, but not their own.
Hmm.
Like, cause who's gonna support Dundalk
Yeah.
or like Shamrock Rovers?
Yeah.
You're gonna
Or
support
fucking,
Man United.
Or like
personally.
Portlaoise
Anyway.
Warriors.
Polish.
It's been a good discussion, but I really need to get ready for it.
Right.
now.
Well, it's
Yeah.
just me and Aaron now.
So,
We're
Okay.
down the final
Well,
two.
If you want to name your least favourite?
All right. No, I'm gonna name my favourite. I
Alright.
wouldn't say
Alright.
Tyson Fury's my favourite. Who's my favourite? I mean, Rashford's up there.
Rashford's good.
I do love him. Like,
Rashford's a
like
nice guy.
this. That's mainly off the last 2 years.
Mhm.
Or year and a half.
Yeah.
He's really came to the fore just a quality person.
Yeah. That was great politics as well.
Yeah.
Like, You know what I liked about with the free school meal thing is that he wasn't passing about. He wasn't like a. I couldn't take seriously a Labour MP who was criticising, or I couldn't see it as genuine. If it was a Labour MP just criticising the free school meal
Let's
thing.
take Keir Starmer.
Yeah, because it's their job to do that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? That's like they have to do that for their
Yeah,
own
he didn't
party.
have to do that.
Yeah, he didn't have to do
Him
it.
being political could
Mhm.
affect his career.
Yeah, and he wasn't banging on about how horrible the Tories are. As much as like I might agree with that if he did it,
Mm.
he actually seemed to care about the single issue.
Yeah, he was focusing on that. He wasn't trying to make a political platform for himself and everything.
Yeah.
And maybe he will in the future, I don't know. But at that time, he was just trying to help.
Mhm,
He was
yeah.
just a genuine place, and he's kept at it. Like, he's kept at it even though the media spotlights are completely off him
Yeah.
now. Nobody cares about it
Yeah.
anymore. He's still funding his local area with cash injections, everything like that. Trying to set up food banks,
Mhm.
all this stuff. Like, that's the thing. He's kept at it, and he hasn't forgot his roots.
Mhm. Yeah,
in
he's
Manchester,
in
so-
touch with the fact that he's working class, or he was working class.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something so commendable about him. And
Mm.
you know, people can say, "Well, he's on a ridiculous wage. He should." It's like, yeah, of course. it's still great when one footballer actually does care.
Yeah.
And really shows a drive to actually improve their local community or the community they're living in Manchester. I mean, he's still in Manchester, so things like that are pretty uplifting. And then obviously you like him more when the media really go after him, like the right-wing tabloid press just shit on him. He's bought houses, he's a piece of shit. It's like, mate, he's securing his future.
Yeah.
I mean, and although, like, you know, maybe politically we, you know, might not agree with property or maybe the idea of owning multiple houses,
I couldn't blame someone like Rashford.
I can't blame him for doing that.
Yeah.
He's not Bill Gates.
Yeah, no, he has millions of fucking dollars because he plays football, and it's like, you know, I hate rich people, but a lot of footballers I can't hate for being rich because it's like I think a lot of them would still play the game, especially people like Rashford. They would play the game even if the wages were reduced by fucking tenfold.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? And it's like they just happen to get that fucking wage because that's how the industry is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And look, you know, you can say you're a fucking Marxist all you want, but at the end of the day, if you're getting signed up for Man United, right, and then they come in and go, look, here's 80 grand a week for 5 years. You don't go, don't agree money. Like, no, you go, especially if, this is the bullshit middle class people fall into when the Marxists and they go like, I don't really care about money. No, that actually is the thing. Like when they say, money doesn't really bother me, it's like, yeah, you've had the benefit to say that.
No, it's like, you don't have to care about money.
Yeah.
Whereas if someone offered me $1 million, even as like a fucking social, I'd be like, right.
Yeah, no, I get me loaning. When I got me loan, I had a bit of a fun time.
Yeah.
Alright, I had a bit of a fun time, bit of stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Alright? And the next day I'm thinking, fuck, no. I'm addicted to smoking, right? So I buy a pack of fags, I look at me nationwide, I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, stressing. So somebody came in, I'm at 80 grand a week, 5 year, you'll be rich, but like, you'll be rich, and you'll live a comfortable life.
Yeah.
And you might not agree with it, but, you know, I go, you know what, I've had to fucking put up with that, I'll just do that.
Yeah.
I've had to be poor as fuck. I've had to be like poverty, living in homeless shit, right? So you're telling me, I'm going to be lectured by some, you know, if I was Russia, I'd be like, I'm going to be lectured by some middle class cunt telling me that I can't earn 80 grand a week when I've had to put up with all that in your life. Yeah, when you've had a comfortable life, fuck you.
Yeah, no, it's like,
nonsense.
You know, I'm allowed to fucking, like, if I had $1 million, I wouldn't buy 5 houses, but I'd buy myself a house. You know what I mean? I'd buy myself a pretty nice house.
Because you want to be fucking comfortable.
Yeah, because and it's yourself. Like, you fucking feel like, for me, I'd feel like, you know, I spent most of my life in council houses and this shitty flat where I don't even control the heating. And it's like, I'm allowed to enjoy $1 million. I can't open my fucking window. Yeah.
Did it even have a microwave when you got it?
No, I don't think it did. Yeah. So.
I mean, yeah, it's accommodation with it and everything. Oh, well, what's it called?
What?
It did advertise it's like furbished. Refurbished.
Yeah, it was furbished. Yeah, fully furbished.
Right. And it didn't have a microwave.
And a few months ago, the shower nearly caught on fire. So that was cool.
Oh, caught on fire?
Yep.
How?
Yeah. Well, the switch for it was broken. And so we'd like sellotaped it to keep it on because if you turned it off, it was really hard to get it back on. And then one day I came out of the shower and I was drying myself off.
Yeah, as you do.
And then I came into my room and started drying my hair, and I smelled a burn, and I was like, "What the fuck is that? Have I left the oven on?" And then I went outside, and there was just smoke coming out of the switch for the shower.
Oh man, that's fucking dodgy.
Fucked. This whole building is just absolutely fucked.
Yeah, so. Complete shit show.
Yeah.
Like, thing is, you know, when Aaron basically we would have a camera set up. We'll have it someday, you know. No. He basically wiped his armpit, right? Pretending to wash himself, and all I could think of there was like, I've got this idea of Jesus doing that to me.
Yeah.
Is that a Family Guy?
No.
Like I used to watch sort of Family Guys. It's shit.
No,
I don't. I think it's shit.
Stewie walks around Jesus and he's like,
yeah, that's what I can. I don't feel like that's a thumbnail. No, that's a.
No, I get GTA 7 as a thumbnail.
GTA 7. Shit. No, before it's got to be better than 6. Right,
Grand Theft Auto 7. We in a game.
No, your worst sports personality. That's a hard one, that. I don't like John Terry.
John Terry? Who's he? Football.
Defender for England. Fuck Wayne Bridges' wife, his best mate.
Ah, right. Yeah.
He was just a cunt. Bit of a racist arsehole at times as well. He was racially abused Anton Ferdinand. I don't know, it's quite hard, to be honest. I'm trying to think of. I could probably think of another. Tiger Woods pisses me off.
Yeah,
Don't know why.
yeah.
Fucking cunt.
I don't know anything about golf,
He's
but
just
he's
cheating
just a
on his
prick.
wife, Lord. He's just a dickhead, and then he comes out and I'm very sorry, and he just does it again.
Get a
I know
card
he's
back.
came back, and he's better now. But like, just fuck off, anyways.
Yeah.
You know, maybe. Is there any political sports personalities I dislike?
A lot of sports people are quite right wing. A lot of MMA fighters are very right wing.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I can't think of their names. It's gonna piss us off.
I can't even think many in football. Football's not a political.
Yeah.
Like, no, it is a political sport, but the footballers themselves aren't usually very political.
Well, it's a lot less about individual players.
Well,
than
yeah,
it's about teams.
boxing brings out the political in it. It's not
yeah.
about individualism. It's about you as a person, your character.
Yeah.
Football's team based, so obviously your character doesn't matter as much. Even though there is some characters in sports, like, do I like Ronaldo? He's quite a nice guy at times.
Yeah.
He had that kid with cancer.
Rooney as well. Are you?
Nana.
Oh,
I don't mind him as much. He's a Nana fucker.
What was his fucking name? He
I
died.
like Nana fuckers.
He was
Maradona.
Maradona. Yeah, he was cool. He's big anti-imperialist.
Worst. No.
He was just saying no.
Yeah, I'm fucking Maradona.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a bit, you know, he had like traditional views, but he's
Yeah.
Argentinian, fucking religious Argentinian from the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
But yeah, Maradona was a guy. I like Maradona. Actually, Pele fucking pisses me off.
Yeah, why?
He's such a cunt.
Is Pele
He's
black?
such an What's that relevant?
I can't remember.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to think.
He's a black Brazilian
I just
footballer.
couldn't remember if he was black
from
or
like
brown.
50s and 60s.
Yeah.
Right, he's a fucking annoying cunt because basically Messi recently broke his goal scoring record
Right.
and he fucking went on a tirade like, no, actually, I scored 1,000 goals.
Yeah.
But the 1,000 goals he scored, right, 400 of them were against fucking like Brazilian 8th tier sides. So it's like, that doesn't count, mate. I'm sorry. You can't. If you're counting that, then every goal Messi scored counts as 2.
Yeah.
Because he's actually played against decent teams.
Yeah.
And he's really arrogant. He thinks, it's like he is one of the best footballers of all time, but he also like really embodies it too much.
Yeah.
Even though you're not anymore. Like, you aren't better than Messi, mate. You're never ever better than Messi. So don't fool yourself. He annoys us a bit.
We'll need to wrap this up now because I need to go to work. But any sports person who accuses someone of cheating is a good one. I'm pretty sure. Was it Deontay Wilder? I think.
Were you accused?
Yeah, I think he did.
Tyson Fury
I think
cheating?
he accused Tyson Fury of cheating.
And his fans went crazy because
Yeah.
literally Tyson Fury dolled up or something. But I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
I'm happy he actually got him because the reason I'm happy there is Deontay Wilder attacked that man for something he personally came out about his depression and anxiety and things like that. He was taking the piss out for it. It's like, you know what? He must have thinking, maybe some boxers think this is just a job. I don't have any hatred for me opposition, but he must have been thinking, like Tyson Fury must have been thinking in the build-up, I'm going to train harder and harder, and I just want to get in that ring and I want to fucking.
Nah, he fucking tasted his blood.
Yeah. Nah, and that's that. Yeah, I'll give it to Tyson, and I'll say least favourite is fucking Pele because he's just a cunt. But yeah, that's been a wrap.
Yeah, it's been a good episode. A bit of a change of pace from the normal, talking about sports. So we need to talk about that on this podcast, but we all have some degree of interest in different sports.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, and from now on, if anyone actually listens, we've got one listener.
Yeah.
We'll be doing, not starting this week, starting next week, when the usual cast is here. When the usual Eunoiacast is here, we'll be doing weekly film reviews.
Yeah.
Right. So how it's going to work is, I'll explain it now. I explained you on the phone, but I'll explain it again. Basically, we're going to get Scarlet Ruby, maybe Connor, maybe Richie if he wants to join in, and we're going to go round. You can start it, and you've got to tell us all the film we have to watch on our own.
Alright.
Right?
Yeah.
We can't talk about it all because we did a while ago on this podcast. We were going to review Doctor Sleep.
Yeah.
We watched Doctor Sleep and then talked about it for about 2 hours. So we never reviewed Doctor Sleep because we talked about all we could about Doctor Sleep. So if we can just get all of us to watch it separately in our own times, and then the first time we talk about it is on the podcast. It seems more real that way. And do that in a roundabout, and we might be doing a monthly book review.
It might be, if we can get people to read. Some of the people on this podcast don't like to read. If we can get them to read, then we're going to try to.
Some people don't like to read. I mean, there's one person who's been reading this book for like 6 months.
Yeah.
He's like about 3 pages in.
of the Communist Manifesto. Which is,
No, remember Brave
Brave
New
New World.
Yeah.
No, I just took it back.
Yeah, did you take the manifesto back?
Nah, Ruby hasn't.
Oh yeah. She actually has read about 30, 40 pages of it, so you know.
Fair enough.
And that's somebody who's not really that interested in politics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
What can you do?
Yeah.
But we're done now.
Yep. So look forward to the film review and possibly the book review if we can. And thank you for listening.
For
really.
listening to the podcast.
Yeah.
Goodbye.